Good afternoon, gardening friends. It's now about 2 o'clock on October 1st, and I want to give you a couple of quick updates. I promise this time it'll be quick. I could tell the lighting last couple of updates pointing outside didn't look real good, so hopefully this is a little bit better. The tomato plant looks pretty spindly, but it's there. Actually, two tomato plants, and I'll show you the other one. You can see in the upper right corner there I've got the hummingbird feeder. Haven't really seen a whole lot of hummingbirds. And more towards the top center of your picture is the, hopefully you can see it better now, the birdhouse. I think it's probably too close to my patio to convince them to actually come, but it's there. That's that, and I got one new project I want to show you. But real quick, before I do that, I'm going to show you what the tomatoes look like. This is the patio tomato I planted a week and a half ago. It's now Tuesday. I think I planted it on Saturday. And the tomatoes are actually changing color. I'll see if I can get you a better still shot. Okay, so here's the other project on the far end of the patio, on the short length of the patio, where I have the morning glories. I now have a lattice structure, very simple. I took the 5, if you look at carefully towards the bottom there, you can see I got 5 boxes, planting boxes, and I put one stake in each and tried to reasonably evenly space them out. In the left one it's all the way to the left, in the right one it's all the way to the right, in the middle one it's right in the middle, and so on. Spaced them out pretty evenly, extended them up because they're only 3 feet, so they go into the box. So I'll try and get you still pictures so you can get a little bit better view of kind of how it's constructed. And there's only 3 that are going across, but it goes almost the full height of my patio before it hits the roof above, the roof of the balcony above. Anyway, I'm trying to train them up there. It was a lot of fun trying to untangle everything. Now I'm going to give them some water because the leaves are drooping pretty badly. They've been kind of on this side of the patio since I took them off the old supports. But I'm hoping that by doing this they will start to kind of spread out and fill in and gain a little more sunlight, and with a little bit more sunlight maybe I'll get some flowers, and it'll also provide me some degree of screening. So that's that project, and I'll update you next time I have one. Good afternoon, gardening friends. It's now October 10th at a little past 1:30 in the afternoon. Just want to try and give you a quick update on things going around since it rained yesterday. So let's see what we've got. The 2 big tomato plants don't look any different really. A couple of dead leaves here and there, and I just keep picking them off. It's looking pretty spindly. Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit more. Hope this makes it a little more obvious what I keep saying, it's spindly. There's just not a lot of leaves, but at this point in the year, the plant's been growing all year since spring, and it's produced a lot of leaves, a lot of fruit, and then those leaves die off, the fruit get consumed, and what you're left with is a lot of stem. Ultimately I will cut this back and we'll see what happens in terms of growing back for next year. But that's the 2 main plants, and that would be the newer patio tomato plant, and you can see a couple of tomatoes on there. I've already had a few of them, consumed a few of them, so it's doing pretty good. So far it looks like everything survived the rain. Let's take a look around at the rest. So here we got the first 3 boxes with the all petunias in there, and the flowers have come and gone. I've been deadheading. The plants still seem to be alive. The one on the right kind of went up and over the box, just kind of flopped over when I first planted it, but I can see some new growth at the base, so that's good. So I may at some point just cut off that one branch depending on how dead it looks on the outside. The one in the middle had a lot of purple flowers, and just a lot of green now. We'll see what happens. In the next 3 boxes we've got the first 2 right to left have, I forget exactly what. I have the original 4 packets, and I'll put a note up here on what I planted. I just don't remember what order they're in. And now you should be able to see the mums a little bit better on the left side there. In the next 3 we've got 2 more of those veggies that I can't remember what I planted, but We'll figure it out. And to the left there is the, can't remember. I'll come back in a second. But let me just kind of slide over, and you can see the broccoli and the Swiss chard are doing okay, and that's basil on the right that I couldn't remember. And if I slide over a little more, you can see the flowers and how they're doing. That's only capturing 4 of them, but well, basically on the right there you've got another petunia. Actually, I think the 2 on the right are petunia. So that leaves us with these 3 here, which are the morning glories, and in the middle there's another mum. And everything seems to have survived the rain nicely. Sunflowers look good in number 1, though I never quite understood why some of them just seem to be pointing down. You would think they'd actually be the opposite. They'd be reaching up. The flower itself would be reaching up for the sun, but they seem to be doing okay. There's a few dead leaves in there. That's number 1. Sliding over to number 2. We've got a nice sunflower right there. Let me see if I can get a still for you. And if we rotate around, you can see number 3 off in the distance there. And that one's doing okay. It's not as much as the other 2. It seems like when I go from 1 to 2, it's not as big. When I go from 2 to 3, it's not as big as 2. So, I don't know. But the sunflowers are doing okay. And here we have a little bit better shot of this side of the building. I usually show you just the birdhouse or the lilies, but now you can kind of see how it all works together along with the Mexican palm. Again, everything's surviving. I guess what I'm really doing here is testing out my polarizer on my camera. I'm actually buying a couple of new filters, and we'll see if that kind of improves the video that I've been shooting, and I'll get some practice before I head off on vacation. Oh yeah, and here's the white pot that had some morning glories in it. A lot of what was in there was spindly and it's pretty much died. So I wanted to show you that we've got a new bud popping up. So planted some new seeds. I'm not sure which one that is, but we'll see what it turns into. And here we have a different perspective on the pergola project, and you can see that the tendrils that are coming down, which I didn't actually get around to wrapping back around things, but actually dropping down seems to have really helped. I'm getting a lot more flowers out of them. So we'll just kind of watch that, and if they get too low, then I'll start wrapping them up above and shortening them that way. And let me see if I can get you a little closer so you can see the flowers better. There we are. I guess you can only see one blue morning glory, but I've had actually like 5 or 6 of them on at a time in the last week or so since I shot most of the last couple of episodes. I've had a lot of flowers on these on here, so I'm going to see if I can capture a little bit more of it for you guys. And with that, we finally wrap up in the north courtyard, and you can see the plants here. One of the neighbors decided to add some soil to those pots. That was a generous thing, good organic soil. So we're doing good there. The cardinal climber vine's producing flowers again. Yesterday there weren't a lot of flowers out, but that's because it was overcast all day. So we're doing pretty good, and that pretty much wraps up this update. Good morning, folks. It's now October 11th at a little after 8:30 in the morning. A little earlier than I usually record, but I got up early, decided to change a couple little things around, and want to show them to you. So this will be a real quick update, I promise. If you look carefully up in the corner there, actually let me get a little closer. I'm not sure how well that's coming through, but the hummingbird feeder, the level is a little lower, and I heard them out here this morning, so I think they finally found it, which is good. And if you take a look at the those 2 flower boxes that are part of the experiment, I moved them over because it dawned on me that maybe they might actually be blocking the sun going to that particular tomato plant. So with more sun, maybe it'll start to produce a little bit better. I hadn't intended to block the sun after removing the screen, but here we are. We'll see if everything around here improves. Plus, actually, With the flower boxes over in that position, they're probably going to get a bit more sun. I moved them both at the same time, so everything should still be equal as far as running an experiment.